They're about to drag you. They're about to drag you in these comments. In these comments. In these comments. Oh, they're about to drag you. Hey, they're about to drag you in these comments. In these comments. Screenshots say whole thread on fire. You type too quick, now they all inspired. Refresh, reload, naming every line. You hit send once, now you're trending right. They about to drag you. Hey, they about to drag you. Hey, in these comments. In these comments. In these comments, a laugh, reacts, flood. Every clap on beat, one wrong word. Now they quote your tweet. Say you did too much. Say you're not that guy. You can log off now, but receipts don't die. They about to drag you. They about to drag you. In these comments. In these comments. Girl, your breath smell like a doo-doo parade. Your breath smell like an elephant booty grenade. Breath smelling like garbage truck juice. Smell like a whole tall glass of fuck you. Breath smell like old George Foreman grill grease. Smell like two wooden legs with some real feet. Girl, your breath smell like open ass. I don't think that I can cope with that. Your breath smell like a half a turd. High off a gum you denied. Oh, you have some nerve. Smell like a little man with doo-doo at the bottom of his Tatums. Did the fucking heel toe on your tongue and your chin. Why your breath smell like a silverback gorilla booty? Don't know why you didn't tell me about that stinking ass breath. Why your breath smell like a silverback gorilla booty? So you really about to come here and talk me to death? Why your breath smell like a silverback gorilla booty? Don't know why you didn't tell me about that stinking ass breath. Why your breath smell like a silverback gorilla booty? So you really about to come here and talk me to death? Breath smell like underneath Oprah's good wig. With that breath, how long you think you could live?
Muted audio. What's going on, y'all? Wishing y'all a very happy Tuesday. Hope this week has been good to you all so far. Shout out to, I see Jessica and lovely Nola. Shout out to all the mods. By the way, I think if Grace makes it today, she'll get her wrench today. So y'all let me know. Grace, if you in the chat, you let me know. And then y'all let me know if Grace makes it in the chat. Shout out my man, Just Jay. Shout out to everybody. All right. We have a lot to get to today. I was, as you can see from the thumbnail, we have a lot to get to today. Now, I chose, if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the video I put out earlier today, I put out the video on the Black MAGA empire collapsing. Pour out a little something for Megyn Kelly. Pour out a little something for Steve Bannon. pour out a little something for Alex Jones, Benny Johnson, all your favorites. If you haven't gotten a chance to peep that, go ahead and check that out. I have a lot coming on the horizon. Y'all know I had to talk about that beef situation. That's a funny video, I can tell you that. Y'all know I had to talk about them saying Donald Trump wearing diapers with the junk in his trunk, or is it a walking device? Y'all know I had to talk about that. It's some stuff coming up, so be on the lookout for that. Shout out to Ellie. Thank you for your gift. If you received Ellie's gift, show her some love in the chat, won't you please? We got to let them fight from Vanessa Thomas. Thank you so much for being a part. By the way, next week's regular live, will be probably on Monday. I'll confirm this over the weekend, but I have some stuff going on next week. So next week's regular live will probably be on Monday, and I'm going to do everything possible to get a members live in between now and Monday. So be on the lookout for that notification as well. TP, shout out to you, sir. Thank you, TP. Thank you so much for your gift. If you received TP's gift, show TP some love in the chat, won't you please? Now, I was really conflicted about whether or not to do the live during the day or at night today. I figured, I didn't think any of the contests this evening were going to be that consequential. So I think I was safe enough to do it during the day. But then I saw that that Lindsey Graham's sister was running. I said, all right, let me, just in case something go down, let me check. But I'm not planning on spending a whole lot of time on it, but I'm going to check and see what Steve Kornacki and them talking about. R.I.P. Dolly. She was such a great ally to many groups. She did not have to, nor never did it for money. She stood up for people because she could. Thank you so much for that, Jessica. It was fortuitous that I decided to move the live to the evening because of the news of Dolly Parton. And as I put a post out on the community tab that she was one. I want to rewind back to, I'm going to save it. Here's a question I have for you before I go check in on Steve Kornacki. Here's a question I have for you. Give me a list of white people or non-black people that black people don't play about. That black people do not play about. I thought I knew that black people didn't play about Dolly Parton, but I found out today the extent to which black people really do not play about Dolly Parton. There's allies and then there's allies. You know what I mean? She's a capital A ally. Give me black people, give me non-black people that black people do not play about. Mr. Rogers definitely comes to mind. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the chat. We got Celine Dion. Celine Dion. Y'all putting Celine Dion on there? Y'all putting Celine Dion on there? Larry, no, Larry. Hey, Larry proved himself to be a real one in his later life. He's a real one. I'm not saying Larry is a real one, but it came late enough in life. I don't know if I would put him in that. Tina Marie, Jim Carrey. Okay, so Tina Marie came to mind for me because she's one of the people that I always throw up. Tina Marie is one of the people that I always throw up when it comes to like white folks that black people claim. I don't know if I would call her an ally, right? I don't know if I would do that. Like, I don't know, and no disrespect at all, because I'm one of the people that always throws up Tina Marie, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a different, I don't know. Tina Marie would classify. To the question that I asked, yes, Tina Marie would qualify. She would. Jim Carrey should qualify. I don't know that he does, but he should. Jim Carrey is also a real one. Jim Carrey is also a real one. He absolutely should. This is the Betty White Memorial Award that we get. This is the Betty White Hall of Fame right here. Okay, this is the Betty White Hall of Fame. We naming the nominations after Betty White. That's what I'm talking about. This is the Betty White Memorial Award. Neil Patrick Harris. Y'all really go hard for Neil Patrick Harris like that? I haven't known anybody to go hard for Neil Patrick Harris like that. I don't know. You just got jokes now. You just poetic justice out here with the comedy. I believe she qualifies. I believe she qualifies. It might be a little soon, and I don't mean soon in terms of what she's done, because she's done enough. I think it might be soon in terms of recognition for what she's done. But absolutely. Absolutely. Tom Hanks. Now, Tom Hanks, he's in the Jim Carrey class of should qualify. I don't know if he gets recognized the way that he should. He like an unsung. It's like an unsung Wayne. Y'all remember that show Unsung? It was like the black not True Hollywood Stories, Behind the Music, the black behind the music, Unsung. It's an unsung wing of the Betty White Memorial Hall of Fame, and Jim Carrey and Tom Hanks in unsung wing, for sure. Nah, I can't do that, Ramona. I can't do that, Ramona. I can't do that. Nah. But isn't Mariah Carey biracial? Isn't Mariah Carey biracial though? I don't think you can qualify if you're biracial. I don't think Mariah Carey qualifies as being biracial. I don't know about that. Keanu Reeves. We go hard for Keanu Reeves like that? I mean, I like Keanu Reeves. I like Keanu Reeves. I ain't never got to a fight about Keanu Reeves or nothing like that. Okay. So my immediate thought is to disqualify Bill by virtue of the fact that the crime bill, the legacy of the crime bill was so pervasive that it hurt Hillary when she ran. You know what I mean? Bill hurt Hillary when she ran. So that's my immediate reaction. However, to the question that was asked about white folks that black people don't play about, there is a very strong contingent of black folks that do not play about Bill Clinton. That is true. That is true. I don't know. Unsung Wayne. He's with Tom Hanks. Eminem is with Tom Hanks and Jim Carrey. Because as far as I'm concerned, the things that Eminem told white America about themselves by virtue of his exploding popularity, he came out and said, if I was black, I would have sold half. He said, if I was black, I would have sold half. He called himself the white Elvis for that reason. He told white America about themselves. So I believe he should qualify. However, to the question that was asked, white folks that black people don't play about, we don't really go that hard for Eminem. We don't. And there's this very strong contingent that is completely dismissive of Eminem's, if we're being real. So, and I don't believe this is deserved. I said unsung wing. But, I have what I think, and then I have the consensus. I can't affect the consensus based on what I think. You know what I mean? So I gotta be fair about that. Let's see what y'all got. Love this show. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Thank you. Matthew McConaughey. Y'all really go hard for Matt? I like him. I don't got, what's that, a spider? Okay. It was like I don't know if that was a dust mite or. Okay. All right. We talking about people that black folk don't play about. I tell you one thing I don't play about is creepy critters. We can end this early. You know what I mean? We can end this early. I told y'all I'm gonna do a live once a week. I was live. And then wildlife broke out and y'all got it. Huh? I don't play about no wildlife. I really don't. Y'all let me know if y'all go hard for Matthew McConaughey like that. Indoor gardener. Thank you very much. I appreciate your gift. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lashana, Robert De Niro, and Al Pacino. I don't know. Maybe Unsung Wing? Robert De Niro. Okay, Robert De Niro is borderline in the Betty White and borderline Unsung Wing. He's gone hard, not to mention his personal proclivities. So he's gone hard. He's borderline in the hall and borderline Unsung Wing. Al Pacino, I don't know. I need to do a little bit more. I need to do a little bit more research for that one. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate your gift. Thank you so much. If you receive Sean's gift, throw some love in the chat, won't you please? Coach Pop absolutely deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. Let me tell you about the shock when I found out how hard Coach Pop went. And then when I found out how hard Steve Kerr went, Pop was the bigger shock. Because, you know, I viewed Pop as kind of like I ain't really like the Spurs dynasty like that. Tim Duncan was boring. They were like the anti-Shaq and Kobe. You know, they came after the Bulls. Like, it was a lot not to like. He hated on Dennis Rodman. Coach Pop and I didn't rock for most of his prime. Coach Pop and I didn't rock. But then Trump came out and Coach Pop was, Coach Pop did Trump worse than he did the Shaq Kobe Lakers. He did. Coach Pop shut Trump down like the Dirk Nowitzki Mavericks. They popped up and they popped up that one time, but not again. Not with Coach Pop around. Not with Coach Pop around. I just knew this live was about to end if it was a spider. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah. Matter of fact, my wife got the kids. She putting the kids to bed right now. She has to do that when I go live. But if she ever wanted my services back, she would throw some spiders up here. I'm with the kids. Yeah. I'm gonna be a real good father. If it's some spiders up here, that's for sure. Yeah. Abolitionist John Brown. Yeah. John Brown is in there. By the way, in the Tina Marie wing, because there's a Tina Marie wing of people we just claimed, I would put Michael McDonald in the Tina Marie wing. I think Michael McDonald belongs in there. You know who also either belongs in the hall, but because he's famous for other reasons, I'm going to name the unsung wing after him, Albert Einstein. Unsung wing is named after Albert Einstein. The Albert Einstein Memorial unsung wing of allies within the Betty White Memorial Ally Museum. Somebody get me some letters to see what that's. Yeah, we naming it after Betty White, but the unsung is Albert Einstein for sure. For sure. How the F did Katie Miller ever see something in Stephen Miller to ever date him because he's a white supremacist monster and Trump knows that, so why? Martin, I think you answered your own question. I think you answered your own question. You know, power will do that, you know, to somebody that's hateful like that. What is Chris Rock said, money will turn a bald spot into a part. It'll do that if you're hateful. Power will do that if you're hateful too. It will. Abby, thank you so much for your gift. If you received Abby's gift, show some love in the chat, won't you please? What the chart won't say. Thank you so much. Show some love to what the chart in the chat. If you received that gift, won't you please? What's up with the Eddie George jersey today? Go Blue, Tennessee. Well, you know why I got the Eddie George. Come on. You know why I got the Eddie George. It was that or the Peyton Manning. That's what we was doing today. But I just did. I just used the Peyton Manning. What video was that? I used the Peyton Manning not too long ago. Oh, I know what I used it for. Y'all gonna love this video. I got a video coming out about the Trump Superstore that closed out around Knoxville, Tennessee. They did a whole write-up. Slate did a whole write-up on the Trump Superstore that closed down. And y'all know I did a full reaction. I did a full reaction. That video, my man Chris is working on that. So be on the lookout for that video. That's coming out. All right. All right, let me go see what's going on with the votes, and I'll be back with some more of what y'all had to say. And then we're going to go through exactly, we're going to go through some legacy stuff because Dolly deserves it. She definitely deserves it. All right.
I gave her a benchmark. Here is 61. They're coming to us. Also in the House, he's already crunching some of the numbers at his big board. Steve, that South Carolina vote coming in right now. I know it's very early. Walk us through anything you have and what you're seeing. Yeah, it's starting to fill in here pretty quickly. I would say this, that we're still waiting for some big counties where we don't have reports yet. The numbers that we've seen so far, especially down here around Myrtle Beach and sort of in this area of the state right here, this would be the PD region, the 7th Congressional District, and then right here in Lexington County, which is big, suburban, Metro Columbia county here. These numbers are very encouraging for Graham, but they come with a catch. Everything that you're seeing right now is early vote. It was vote that was cast before Election Day. They were able to get that all tallied up and reported out very quickly after polls closed. The big question is going to be when they start releasing the vote that was cast today, the Election Day vote, does it look different? Because we've seen that be the case in so many of these Republican primaries we've been following this year. Does it look different? Is it as good for Graham as she's getting out of some of these reports? Again, particularly around Myrtle Beach right now, she got a really good early vote report out of there. But the question is going to be the Election Day vote. Does it continue to be good news for her, or does it shift? Because we've seen big shifts with that before. But certainly in the areas, I think, where Graham wanted to be performing strongly, so far preliminarily, she's getting pretty good numbers out of those places. But we got to see what the Election Day vote looks like. And then I got to say, from Norman's standpoint as well, we expect him to do very well in this part of the state. This is where the anchor of his congressional district. This is York County, Rock Hill, right outside Charlotte. That's a very good number for him there. This is a big one. Greenville County is probably going to produce more votes than any county in the state tonight. It is just a scattering of votes that have come in so far. That number for Norman, if he's running at 70%, when we start getting some real vote from here, and then we'd be saying he's doing quite well in his neck of the woods too. So preliminarily, we've got more votes in from sort of Graham-friendly areas. Right now, they look like the kind of numbers she'd like to see down there. That could change as the election day vote gets added in. And let's see what happens in Norman's more friendly territory of the upstate as we get more reports from there. Yeah, just under 10% in right now. Steve, I know you're going to be watching that map all night. Any other races you're getting data on or any other analysis you have of those other races? I know the one in Oklahoma that Ryan mentioned as well. Yeah, polls will close there about 40 minutes from now. Just to remind folks, you got the report there, but Gentner Drummond, the state attorney general, Mike Mazzei, endorsed by Donald Trump. This is a runoff. The preliminary election, these two candidates were almost dead even. Only 1,100 votes separated them, and there were a lot of votes for other candidates in there. They each got about a quarter of the vote. So a lot of mystery, a lot of suspense. And again, like South Carolina, a test of Trump's clout here. He's behind Mazzei, and he's really attacked Drummond as well. So in Oklahoma, it's a test of Trump's clout, and that certainly is the case here in South Carolina, where he's really pushed hard to try to get Graham across the finish line. Okay, Steve Kornacki, you'll be on the board tonight. We thank you again. Still ahead on Top Story. Okay, folks, so you see how this work? If you haven't.
All right, so y'all heard from Steve. A little too early to call. A couple of suggestions I saw in the chat that were excellent. Ernie Johnson from Inside the NBA, no doubt. Easy. And I can say from personal experience, because I used to work for Turner Sports once upon a time. In between stints at ESPN, I was at Turner Sports doing Bleacher Reports, stuff like that. I got to, interact with Ernie Johnson a little bit. He's like that. So, yeah, shout out to Ernie Johnson. And by the way, while I'm at it, so is Charles. Chuck is like that, too. Shout out to Ernie Johnson. Maury, easy peasy. Yes. Jane Fonda. Yes. Yeah. Those are good ones. They're in there. Share. I got a couple of shares. I don't know. I can't call share. I can't call share. So if y'all rock with her, I'll let y'all have it. Joan Rivers. I've never heard a black opinion on Joan Rivers. So if y'all rock with her, I'll let y'all have it. Yeah, I'll let y'all have it. Gary Owen, Maury, Springer. That's another one. Springer. I'm not sure if I know who Victor Newman is. I might be having a brain fart right now. Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie, it's a couple of Bernies in there. It's a couple of Bernies in here. By the way, Miss Rachel's already been put in. She's already in there. It's a couple of Bernies in there. Bernie was at the march. So Bernie gets credit for being at the march. It's been a lot of pushback in his later years. It's been a lot of pushback in Bernie later years, though. Running to the media and complaining about Kamala's candidacy after they just elected a man with 34 felonies. That wasn't it. You know what I mean? Traveling the country and making peace with MAGA, talking, Last couple of years ain't been great. Yeah, I believe Jimmy Carter's in. Minnie Riperton. Is she black? Is she black? Y'all give me a judgment call on Minnie Riperton. I thought Minnie Riperton was black. So I think Prince Harry's in there. There's been a couple of Bobby Caldwells. I'll let y'all have that one. Katie Fang. I'm not mad at it. TP said Madonna. All right, hear me out, though. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Generations of black athletes could not resist Madonna. Generations of black athletes found her to be irresistible. Not to mention the fact when she was at the apex of her fame, she was parading. She was bringing Dennis Rodman and them through the cocktail hour. You know what I mean? She was bringing Tupac and them through the cocktail hour, though. It's clear that black male celebrities in the 80s and the 90s clearly did not play about Madonna. They did not. They clearly did not play about Madonna. Now, I can't say she did any advocacy work. I don't know that she made life better for any of us that I'm aware. But she probably kicked down some doors, though. She deserves consideration. That's all I'm saying. She deserves consideration. She deserves consideration. That's all I'm saying. All right. It's a little piece of paper with her name on it. When we go there, it's a piece of paper with her name on it that we're going to have to discuss. Y'all got to deal with that. Bill Nye. At minimum, unsung Wayne. At minimum. He might be in there. I think Willie Nelson is in there. We got Madonna. Okay, so you wasn't the only one. Okay. Who said Paula T? Paula T. Yeah, JFK's in there. JFK's in there, for sure. For sure, JFK's in there. Yeah. Interestingly enough, JFK is in there, but I can't think of, why am I having a brain fart? I don't think LBJ is. Yeah, interestingly enough. But JFK for sure is in there. Bob Ross, I think Bob Ross is in there. Oh, Victor Newman, best answer. Wait, is Victor Newman, is that Julian Newman's dad? Hold up. Oh, no. Y'all talking about the dude from The Young and the Restless. Okay. Never mind. I thought y'all were going super recent. No wonder I didn't know who he was. Haley Williams, yeah, she's in there. We find Haley Williams to be irresistible. And I will be lying if I said I just didn't find myself listening to Paramore for no reason. Victor Newman has been in our grandparents' lives for 50 years. Yeah. I had no idea who that was, but fair enough. George Carlin should be. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about George Carlin, but he absolutely deserves to be in there. By the way, somebody said Dionne Warwick. You just mentioning athletes now. Oh, you just mentioning singers now. I think Selena might be. Yeah, Selena was like that. I think Christina might be. She might be. She deserves consideration. I have seen as many fights over Christina Aguilera as anybody during the late 90s, early 2000s. It was Beyonce and Destiny's Child over here, And then it was Britney Spears and Jessica Simpson over here. And it was Christina right in the middle. And it was a scrap. They was, you know what I mean? They was here with it. They was here with it over Christina Aguilera. That's what was happening. That's what was happening. Yes. Yes to Hunter Biden. Yes to Hunter Biden, for sure. Got a couple of Carol Burnett's. I don't know if she was like that. Y'all have to let me know. Frank Sinatra was 1,000% like that. He was 1,000% like that, and absolutely deserves consideration. Now, let me. Somebody said Ben Crump. Let me say this. Actually, before I say that, let me show some love too, because we lost more than one hero. We lost more than one hero since we've last been live, and I would be remiss if I did not mention another legend before we go further into this. I would like to say to all the young people out there, lip syncing has come a long way. It really lip syncing has come a real long way. That's what we used to look at. That's what we used to look at. All right. That was good entertainment for us. That was good. I was like, wow, I didn't know it was that off. I didn't know it was that off when I watched it. Also, there was a period of time from about 89 to 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. If you made a black biopic, you started with Leon and you built around Leon. Okay? You built around Leon. It was actually a law. People don't know this. It was a law that was passed during the Bush ones, during Bush one's administration. They passed a law that you could not make a black biopic without Leon. And it wasn't until Obama came around, okay, it wasn't until Obama 2 that they decided to open it up. So just so y'all know, just because I know y'all be getting confused. Young people be getting confused. They be like, I think I've seen this because I know that guy. Now he in all the stuff. So just know that. And guess what? I have never, and I'm gonna look at the chat. I have never heard a single person in 4 decades. I have never heard a single person complain about Leon's performance. It's never happened. Not one time. I have never heard Leon, you know what I mean? Leon was a little weak. Not one time. Take it to the bank. Leon came, he saw, he did his thing. Take it to the bank. Like a prayer. Oh, we came full circle. Like Madonna, like a prayer. He did the like a prayer joint too. I forgot about that. I showed my kids the like a prayer video, or my daughter, I showed the like a prayer video not too long ago, and I was like, this had a lot more going on than I thought. I don't think I should have been watching this. And she's younger than I was. Oh boy, that was our childhood. Welcome, Tracy. Welcome, Tracy. Thank you for being here. How else are you going to turn into Spiderman? Coach Pop is that dude. Coach Pop is that dude. Coach Pop is that dude. Hey, I could not mention Coach Pop and his advocacy enough during the NBA Finals, juxtaposed against James Dolan. Sorry to bring that up, Jessica, but it is what it is. Hope one day Clarence Thomas realized that the people he's helping while in the Supreme Court actually never gave a crap about him. They only use him. I think he might realize that. I think he might just be too far down the road of shamelessness. So he's getting what he can get out of it at this point. Rest in peace, Shelley Fabares and Dolly Parton. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Michael. Thank you. Much appreciated. We are in agreement. The winner is George Carlin. George Carlin, 1,000% deserves consideration. 1,000% deserves consideration. Really. Like, he should be in there. I just don't know. You know, I don't, y'all have to let me know. Obviously, Indoor Gardner is familiar with George Carlin's work. Obviously, I'm familiar with George Carlin's work, but I'm a comedian. I don't know how much the people at large are familiar with George Carlin's work. And I don't mean, you know, the breadth of his work, but I mean the content of his work, the kind of stuff that George Carlin was saying in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Night Watchman, not after what Jones said about Michelle F. Rivers. Yeah. I let y'all have it, Joan Rivers. That was a new one for me. Benny is black and Victor Newman is. Thank you to Shauna for keeping me on my game. I thought Benny was black. Dark Jedi, thank you so much for your gift. If you received Dark Jedi's gift, show some love in the chat, won't you please? By the way, I just about forgot the code for today over at thepeoplesgetup.com. There you see it. Spidey 825. Spidey 825. You put Spidey 825 in and you will get free shipping today over at thepeoplesgetup.com. So there you go. Olivia Benson. Can't do that, Andre. I can't do that, Andre. I can't. Andre, I don't know how long. I don't know if you've been here when I've done the many rants about Law and Order, because I thoroughly enjoy Law and Order. I like crime shows a lot. I enjoy Law and Order a lot. And every third or so episode, they will do something to piss me off and I will swear it off. I can't watch it. I can't watch this propaganda. This is nonsense. And I won't watch it. And then I'll be on social media and I'll see Mariska Hargitay or Ice Cube go hard. They both go hard. I will see one of them go hard on social media and I'll be like, I probably should watch Law and Order again. You know what I mean? As hard as Ice Cube and Mariska be going in the streets, I probably should. And then I'll start watching the show again. And then it's going to be an episode and they just wild propaganda and I'll be disgusted again and I turn it off again. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Yeah, it just. Olivia Newton-John. I don't know what Olivia Newton-John has said or what she's done. I don't know. That would be news to me. One thing I will say about Olivia Newton-John, though, is she was bad. She was bad. Hey, I'm sorry. I know. All the girls that they be parading around in the 60s and the 70s and this, that, and the other thing, and standards of beauty change and this, that, I don't really rock with it. But like, of all the big celebrities, this is a conversation for another time. Of all the big celebrities that were supposed to be beautiful back in the day. Olivia Newton-John. The other one is Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett. But the goat of this, and I'm gonna get off this. The goat of this is, hold up. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna tell you. Hold up. Hold up. I'm just gonna show you. All right. Now, if I showed you, if you saw this lady, on the streets in 2026, fellas, if you saw this lady on the street in 2026, I just need to know what your reaction would be. I just need to know. Fellas, just let me know. If you saw this lady in 2026, I need to know what your reaction would be. I have never in my life known another woman that the same picture would be fine for 70 years. The same picture is fine for 70 years. Stop. No. Bruh. 70 years though? 70 years though. All right. So let me see. We are so far afield. Okay. I see your suggestions. Hold up. Okay. I think we got, I'm gonna put somebody else in the Lena Horne Memorial Hall of Fame. I'm gonna put somebody else in there. I think so. Well, Dorothy Dandridge, welcome to the Lena Horne Memorial Hall of Fame. Oh, yes. For sure. Oh, for sure. Yes. All right. That's not why we're here today. Hey. See, Anthony, come on, man. You know, Anthony, man, somebody always gotta take it. We not even on that today. We not. Reese, Knicks fans hate Dolan more than anyone. You don't have to apologize to me. I am with Pop on that. Another ally role model. Pop Eagles legend. For sure. Prince is Minneapolis' short king. Yeah, but Prince is black. You just want to give some love to Prince? Never a bad time to give love to Prince. That's fine. It is less than 10 weeks until general election. Verify your voter registration and deadline dates. Know your early voting dates. Get involved. What E.T. said. What E.T. said, and pay attention to what the Supreme Court and this president are trying to push through, because we understand the level of their desperation. Did y'all see the guy? Where was he at? Did y'all see the guy in Kentucky named Ralph Alvarado, who received Trump's endorsement for a Kentucky House district, has removed a series of pro-Trump messages and a photo of them standing together from his campaign website? That's the level of their desperation. They hiding. That's the level of that's how bad they know it is. So you know, the black delegation is very selective. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah, they are. No question. They are. Uncle Clarence Thomas's wife. You trying to put her in the that was as bad as what was the suggestion? Paula Deen. So we've had Clarence Thomas's wife and Paula Deen nominated. Messaging people, affordability instead of culture wars, Citizens United instead of AIPAC. Are you ready to get involved? When we do the work, it gets done. E.T., thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, sir. Very much appreciated. Regina Jones, she's stunning. Yeah. I don't know if you were talking about Dorothy Dandridge or Lena Horne, but I mean, look, my two from my childhood is Halle Berry, Salma Hayek, and Sally Richardson. That was from my childhood, right? Just personally, based on my own life experience, I don't think they will ever be eclipsed. I think that this is going to be the forever top three. It's just going to be them three. However, that was just in the 90s, right? That was just in the 90s. Dumb pictures I showed you from the 50s. All right, so that's a whole, they got decades to go of being fine before they can get into the Lena Horne Memorial Hall of Fame. I can admit that objectively, you know. I'm sorry it needs to be said that we're looking at hot white girls back in the day. Pinky Tuscadero for the win. I don't know who that is. Pinky Tuscadero. Hey, Endo Gardner, I just want to thank you for your contribution. Hey, Endo Gardner, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you. Jane Fonda. You know, for her, you know, yeah, I need to look more into Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda, I was too young. I was too young for Jane Fonda. And then she's in a weird window of time where I was alive for it, but I was like young. Yeah, I'll let me look into Pam Fonda. Pam Grier Reese, what you say? Yeah. Yeah. Pam Grier from the 70s. The 70s women got a couple more decades before they can get into the Lena Horne. They're not ready for the Lena Horne yet. I said Halle and Salma not ready for the Lena Horne. You know who can get in the Lena Horne? Who was that? Hold on. I have to think about it. There is somebody, but I gotta think about it. That's a story for another. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Hold up. Oh yeah. Hold up. All right, fellas, let me know. Just let me know. This is the third inductee. I've already decided. Oh, they're not gonna let me. All right, here, I'll just do this. I'll just share the page then. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Sophia Loren is with Dorothy and Lena and them. She is. She with Dorothy, Lena and them. She is. Yeah. She's like that. She's like that. Somebody said Lola Falana. Somebody said, you tried. Is that with the Pinky Tuscatero? He said the silence. Oh, you say it's been 60 years since the 70s. All right. Okay. Just about. All right, so maybe at the end of the decade, then we can maybe have a conversation. At the end of the decade, we could maybe have a conversation at the end of the decade about the 70s. The 70s women not there yet. Oh, I guess some Diane Carrolls. You know what? Remind me to do that next week because we got business to attend to. Rest in peace to actor Michael Wright. The gentleman who was in the 5 Heartbeats. And you might know him from New York Undercover, a man who I easy face recognition from my childhood with all the work that he's done. He passed away at the age of 70, so rest in peace to him. Okay. Now, when it comes to Dolly Parton, let's dig in, shall we? The reason why so many people feel such a way about Dolly Parton. Here we go. Dolly Parton, country music legend, dies at 80, just 4 days after saying, "I still have so many things I want to achieve." In addition to her groundbreaking work as a singer-songwriter, Parton starred in movies like 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias. Parton was preceded in death by her husband of more than nearly 60 years, Carl Thomas Dean, who died in March of 2025. Her career spanned decades and included Grammy wins, film roles, and later in life, a musical inspired with her life titled Dolly. Now, one thing I find so fascinating about Dolly Parton is the meat of her career precedes my consciousness. It really precedes my lifetime and appreciation of music and movies. However, she's a fixture in my consciousness in terms of her personality and her advocacy, which speaks to how long lasting that can be. The person that you reveal yourself to be outside of the booth and off of set. How those are the things that truly last. And I will also say this, about 2 to 3 years ago on this particular channel, before there was a Who Raised Y'all, before there was even a Troubled Waters. I think it was just Street Politics and Racist of the Week at that time. And I was thinking about the kinds of videos that I wanted to make. And I thought of a couple different kinds of, stream ways I could go. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to highlight unsung allies. And the reason why is because we are so accustomed to going back and re-legislating people's careers, re-legislating people's personal lives through the lens of today, and adjusting downward. That's where this idea of, oh, this is cancel culture comes from, right? One thing that we love to do is go and find people from the past that were problematic. And that is not a fool's errand. Those are stories that need to be told, and those are realities that need to be explored. However, the opposite is also true. There are also a litany of people who actually were ahead of the curve when it comes to the way that we view humanity and the way that we decide that is a just and equitable way to sort society. It's not always about this person was problematic. It's also this person was on the right side of history. And in many cases, right, you heard how many people I put in the unsung way. In many cases, don't even get the recognition for being on the right side of history. It should matter that these people stood up and said and did the right thing, in many cases with potential danger to themselves, if for no other thing than financially, career-wise, in some cases, personal health and safety. That should matter. It should matter. I can tell you, for me, there's a lot of old stars from the. You know who sticks out to me is Frank Sinatra. That means something to me, the way that Frank stood up for Sammy. The way that Frank Sinatra took care of Red Fox in his later years. That means something to me. It means more than New York, New York. Now, obviously, that is not the general story that is told when people are reflecting upon who Frank Sinatra was, but that's the story that I keep. And he's somebody who generally, that is well known, right? People generally associate that with Frank Sinatra. Everybody else doesn't get that recognition. Albert Einstein doesn't. That's why I named the unsung wing after him. Go look up Albert Einstein and see how like that he was. These things should matter. It don't always gotta be coming after somebody to destroy their legacy. The opposite is also true. All right. Wait, I don't even think I made that point. Okay, never mind. Let's go. Let's see. Parton shared an update on her health on Friday, August 21st, acknowledging her recent decline after the March 2025 death of her husband, Carl Dean. As I've shared in video messages throughout the past year, I'm dealing with some health issues that I just didn't pay attention to when I was watching over Carl. This isn't the first time I've had to manage something like this. Back in the early 80s, I was down for several months with female issues, and I was struggling with my weight at the time, too. So it's not like I haven't been through hard times with my health. She added, but I think it's because we live in a 24/7 world with social media. Everything gets magnified in ways it wasn't years ago. I used to joke that I was the queen of the tabloids, but now I guess I can say I'm the queen of social media. All seriously, though, even though I'm still healing, I'm still working. You know me, as I've said, I've dreamed myself into a corner, and I still have so many things I wanted to achieve. So I'm going to keep on working as long as I can see everything come to life. Now, for one thing, I had no idea that her husband had just passed in 2025. And I find it really fascinating that just 4 days ago, she said, I have so many things that I want to achieve. Which is crazy to think about somebody at her point in her life thinking that there's so many things that she wants to achieve. You know, I think one of the ways in which I protect my own emotions, as I've done with family, people close to me that transition, one of the ways that I protect my own emotions is to think about the entire breadth of the person's life and ask myself, what more could they have done with that time? Right? It was a really, if you look at their life like a book or like a movie, and you look at all of the ground that's been covered, there wasn't any more that needed to be done. I would have loved to have had one more day. I would have loved to have had one more week, one more month. But if you're approaching this from a eternal lens, that life was a masterpiece. There wasn't any more that needed to be done for them to, I don't know what you believe. We all have come from different traditions, right? I don't want to impose my tradition on you, but if our time here is to be spent touching other people and uplifting other people and showing by example what's possible, that job was done. Now, again, that is just my way. That is my way of protecting my, that's kind of a way I probably shield myself from grief. I'm not saying that that's, anything that anybody should do, but I'm looking at it and saying, if I look at Dolly Parton and say that was a life well lived, and I probably would have said that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But 4 days ago, she said that she had more she wanted to achieve. With a distinguished career that lasted decades, Parton is the best-selling female country music artist of all time, having sold more than 160 million albums worldwide. Her debut album was 1967's Hello, I'm Dolly, and she went on to release a slew of hits, including I Will Always Love You, 9 to 5, and Jolene. Wait a minute. Did y'all know she was the best-selling? Wait, what did this say? Did y'all know she was the best-selling female country music artist of all time? Did y'all know that? I had no idea. I had no idea. Organic West is like by far. I didn't know it was like that. I knew she was successful. I didn't know it was like that. You know what? It kind of reminds me of, a conversation I had with a comedian. This was probably 15 years ago. A comedian friend I knew was opening for, who would that have been? It was like, I don't know if it was Dave Chappelle or some, I can't remember who it was, from the early 2000s. Think about who was big in the early 2000s. I don't know. I don't remember who it was. Comedian friend of mine was opening for a very big comedian at that particular time. And he opened for a lot of people, right? That was kind of one of the, that was a role that he had fallen into. And I happened to have a conversation. I said, how was he? Like, what was he like? And he said, you know what? In my experience, if you look at it in terms of tiers of fame, in my opinion, the top tier, right? The people that have been the biggest and the most famous people that I have seen and have been around have all mostly been fantastic to be around. I don't know how they are in their personal life, but they have mostly been really great people to be around. It's that second tier. He was like, it's that second tier that feel like they should be on the top tier, or are mad they not on the top tier, or have fallen off the top tier, whatever the case may be. It's that second tier where you get all the ego. And I was like, that's really, that was, you know, well, okay. That was, yeah. Somebody new coming. Big. I think Indoor just had jokes. Hey, Indoor, if that wasn't jokes, I apologize. But you at least helped the chat, though. You helped the chat. Yo, you. I'm hoping that Indoor ain't been sitting on that one for a long time. I'm hoping he ain't been sitting on that one for a long time. Like, you know, I don't like to come out with my love for Pinky Tuscadero. You know, I keep that close to the vest, but I feel safe with this community. I've been here for a while, and we've exchanged things, and I feel a level of comfort. And so the next time the topic comes to beauties of the 60s and 70s, I'm going with Pinky Tuscadero. And it just so happens, it happened today. It just fell right in your lap. It just fell right in your lap. And he said, you know what? Today's the day. Bam. 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 I was like, hey, Indoor, at least you know I was being honest. I Googled it. So you know I wasn't being performative. I was not being performative. I Googled it to see who you were talking about. With a distinguished career that lasted decades, Parton is the best-selling female music artist of all time, having sold more than 160 million albums worldwide. Her debut album was 1967's Hello, I'm Dolly, and she went on to release a slew of hits, including I Will Always Love You, 9 to 5, and Jolene. Parton was born in Pittman Center, Tennessee in 1946. She had 11 siblings, and the family was poor. We never actually starved, but sometimes we never quite had enough to eat, she told People in 1977. At age 6, she began playing her first guitar and singing in her grandfather's church. She started writing songs a year later. Though she was known for her glamour as an adult, she told People in 2003 that growing up, I had freckles and a gap in my teeth. Everything was homemade and hand-me-downs. I always wanted to be prettier. I got to fixing myself up. I wanted my clothes tight, my makeup bright, my nails long, my lips red. I got into it. Over her career, she received considerable attention for her dramatic appearance, but she was always the first one to make a joke of it. After her high school graduation, she moved to Nashville in 1964. She played in clubs and wrote songs for other artists. She told People in 2012, my songs got me out of the mountains and took me everywhere I wanted to go. Her big break came when country music star Porter Wagoner hired her to be his sidekick on the Porter Wagoner Show. He helped her land a record deal, but her early successes were all duets with her co-star. I always wanted to be a country musician because I'm a country girl. My style is my soul and my feelings. I'll tell the world in my songs what I wouldn't have told my mother. In 1971, she had her first country #1 with Joshua. Coat of Many Colors, released that same year, reached #4. Then in 1973, she released Jolene, which was a country #1 and also charted on Billboard's Hot 100. Parton stopped appearing on the TV show in 1974, and she wrote I Will Always Love You as a goodbye to her creative partner, Wagoner. When I got ready to go, it was not a good scene. So I went home and that song just came to me. The next morning, I said, this is how I feel. Tears were rolling down his face, she told People in 2012. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? I didn't. Wow. I thought that was written about Kevin Costner. It wasn't Kevin Costner. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. I thought she saw Kevin Costner. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I ain't know. No. Somebody said, I think YouTube is being sus right now. What do YouTube do? Oh, by the way, that's funny. Did y'all hear about that change that YouTube is about to do with the views? All right, let me stay on task. Let me stay on task. The song topped the country chart twice, but it became a mega hit when Whitney Houston recorded it for the 1992 film The Bodyguard. She told People in 2015 about the first time she heard Houston's version of the song on the radio. It was a worldwide thing. It was in a movie. It was #1. I thought, wow, I wrote that little song, she said. That's when I felt my worth as a songwriter. I thought, this is my gift. I'm going to do the best I can with it. Parton continued to enjoy success with hits like Light of a Clear Blue Morning, Here You Come Again, Two Doors Down, It's All Wrong, But It's All Right, and You're the Only One. By the end of the 70s, Parton's ambitions reached beyond Nashville. Some worried she was leaving country music behind. She said in 1977, I want people to know there's a lot more to me, good or bad, than they've seen so far. All I'm asking is a chance to prove it. I'm not leaving Nashville. Roots are important to me, and my roots are here. Parton's movie career began in 1980 when she starred in 9 to 5 with Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. Her theme song for the movie became her first #1 single on the Hot 100. The co-stars became lifelong friends, and Parton later made a guest appearance on their Netflix TV series, Grace and Frankie. In 1982, she played a madam in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas alongside Burt Reynolds. I make a better whore than a secretary, she told People in 1982. That's pretty honest. Parton also starred in 1984's Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone, 1989's Steel Magnolias, and 2012's Joyful Noise. In 1987, Parton released a critically acclaimed album trio with Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris. She told People in 2003 that they were like sisters, explaining, we didn't always agree, but we had a great sound. Our first trio album was one of the greatest pieces of music I've ever been involved in. During her career, Parton won an Emmy, 11 Grammys, 10 Country Music Association Awards, 7 Academy of Country Music Awards, 3 American Music Awards, and earned 2 Academy Award nominations, as well as an honorary Oscar. She is one of only 7 female artists to win the Country Music Association's Entertainer of the Year Award. Man, that was a mouthful. Somebody said I'm drinking out of the coffee maker. Patrick said that duet with Kenny Rogers was really nice. I love Steel Magnolias. She was Miley Cyrus's godmother. Somebody else said that earlier, too. Islands in the Stream. Her duet with Kenny Rogers is good. Let me find out. Islands in the Stream. Hold up. This is like the kids do when they listen to songs for the first time and do a reaction. Islands in the Stream. Wait, is that da 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 da? And that's that song. Okay. Let's do the chorus.
Everything is nothing if you got no one and you didn't want it.
Oh, I know that song. I know that song. Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah, that is good. That is good. The country music icon was also inducted in the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1999. During the memorable ceremony, she performed her hit song, Coat of Many Colors. Parton's close friend and Islands in the Stream duet partner Kenny Rogers presided over her induction. Parton's vibrant life was adapted into a musical titled Dolly, a true original musical that premiered in Nashville in July 2025 with plans of transferring to Broadway in 2026. I wanted to see it done while I'm still around to be able to oversee it and make sure it's done properly in a way I'd want to see it rather than to wait till I'm gone and let somebody else decide how they think it should be done. She also wrote the score for the Broadway adaptation of 9 to 5, for which she received a Tony. In 2005, she received the National Medal of Arts, and in 2006, she received the Kennedy Center Honors. In November 2025, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Man, that's back when the Kennedy Center Honors meant something. 2006. I think they're gonna give it to Kid Rock this year, again. I think he's gonna get his third consecutive one. Yeah. At least his second. Parton frequently collaborated with younger artists, including Beyonce and Sabrina Carpenter. She was also the godmother of Miley Cyrus, for the singer who once said, "Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life." Maintaining her personal life was very important. Okay. She owned the Dollywood Amusement Park located in the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. She was also heavily involved in philanthropy, most notably her Imagination Library, which mails one book a month to children from birth until kindergarten. She was inspired in part by her father, who never learned to read or write. And that actually might be one of the ways in which she's made her way into my home, because my kids received the Dolly Parton Imagination Library books. And there's been at least one book, I believe, that was about her. So they have read books about her, but just the fact that there's books, there's probably, I don't know how many books, downstairs that have that Dolly Parton Imagination Library, like little sticker on the back. Shout out to her for that. Parton married Carl Thomas Dean in May 1966. Dean opted to stay out of the spotlight, but encouraged his wife. "He's always supporting me as long as I don't try and drag him in it," Parton told People. "He's always been my biggest fan behind the scenes, but he's at home. I don't think they're probably showing much of this on TV, and if they do, he might see it. I always joke and laugh when people ask me what's the key to my long marriage and lasting love. I always say, stay gone." And there's a lot of truth to that. I travel a lot, but we really enjoy each other when we're together and the little things we do. Dean died on March 3rd, 2025. Parton announced his death on Instagram, writing, "Carl and I spent many wonderful years together. Words can't do justice to the love we shared for over 60 years. Days after his death, Parton paid tribute to her late husband with a song titled, "If You Hadn't Been There." Shout out to Carl, too. Shout out to Carl. They don't make them like that no more. They really don't, because now, hey, if you were married and your wife was as successful and public figure as Dolly Parton, today's Carl be all in the video. You know what I mean? Like what Suge Knight said, all in the video, dancing. You know what I mean? He would be all in the stream. You know what I mean? All in the back. You know what I mean? He gonna start a little side thing. Like, hey, he was like, hey, we good. We good. I'm good. She's good. You know what I mean? I'm going to chill. Respect. He a real one for that. What'd you say? Oh, you got to do it. All right. You want to help you pack? I got you. Would you want a sandwich? You want a sandwich? I got you. I know what you like. Oh, no, I'll take you to the airport. We gonna be good. Yeah. Whenever you want, whenever you call, I'll be right here. I got a couple of tea times. So I'll commute. I'll let you know my tea times and make sure that's cool with you. But if you need to call and I got a tea time, I'll move it. I'll be right here. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. That's what they don't make them like that. They don't make them like that. That's respect. All right. Parton was set to return to Las Vegas in December 2025 for a residency at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. Her first extended run in the city in more than 30 years, but in September of that year, she announced the dates had been postponed due to health challenges. Despite the setback, Parton reassured her fans at the time, writing, "And don't worry about me quitting the business because God hasn't said anything about stopping yet, but I believe he's telling me to slow down right now so I can be ready for more big adventures with all of you." At 80, she later canceled the residency in May 2026, saying in an Instagram video that she was responding really well to meds and treatments and improving every day. Years prior, Parton told people that even after decades in the industry, there were still dreams she had left to fulfill. In a November 2025 cover story, Parton opened up to people about her then upcoming 80th birthday. People say, well, you're going to be 80. Well, so what? Look at all I've done in 80 years. I feel like I'm just getting started. Man. I got to hit the coffee maker one more time. So I said it trick. Oh, I said I'm drinking out the coffee. Whoever's wrong for that. Whoever said that is wrong. Robert Wansler III and Jen Rummy from the Boondocks. Love Salma. Thank you, Jermaine. I appreciate that. Tony Braxton. Are you putting Tony Braxton? Oh, in the 90s crew? We're going to have a whole 90s. We're going to have a 90s retrospective one of these days about that. They not bumping the 3, though. I can tell you that. Eartha Kitt, Catwoman, Diane Carroll, and Iman. Okay, if I predate Iman, I can give her the 70s. Did Iman go into the 60s? Maybe Iman goes into the 60s. She deserves consideration. She'll be there when she times in. She'll be there. I need to look into Diane Carroll. I'll look in when we circle back. When we circle back, I have some thoughts on those. When we circle back, Irene Cara. Somebody write these down. I'm gonna come back. Irene Cara, Raquel Welch. I will tell you this. There was one of the Charlie's Angels that was way better than the other ones. Not Farrah Fawcett. Not Farrah Fawcett. There was one of the other ones that was way better than all the other ones to me. But that's I'm not even gonna say. Wait, was Raquel Welch even one of the Charlie's Angels, or did I get that wrong? Was she one of the Angels? Maybe I got that wrong. But anyway, I do believe that one of the Charlie's Angels was way better than the other two. That's just, don't say Jacqueline Smith. Now y'all gonna make me look it up. Hold up. Hold up. Charlie's Angels, 70s. I ain't saying that. We'll that's since Regina mentioned Diane Carroll. Yeah. Yep. And I think she's timed in too. I think Diane Carroll's timed in. Eartha Kitt. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. Nah. Not after. Look, if I saw Eartha Cold, maybe. Not after Diane. Not after Diane. We can't. Nah, I can't do it. Out of respect for those that have been enshrined, out of respect for Lena, Dorothy, and Sophia, and now Diane, I can't do it, Eartha. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Eddie Lamar. Y'all just bringing up people. All right. Obviously, the way that we opened this conversation was talking about how much Black folks did not play about Dolly Parton. And it had maybe a little to do with what I just read, but I think it had a lot to do with what I'm about to. This is Dolly Parton, country icon who reached across racial divides. There we go. Parton's musical legacy may have fit one genre, but her spirit was one that couldn't be boxed in. While she was not a civil rights leader or political activist, her legacy reached into Black America. The singer made several public and private choices that carried meaning in a country music industry that has often overlooked its Black roots. Parton generally avoided partisan politics throughout her career. That made her comments during the 2020 racial reckoning especially notable. Quote, I understand people having to make themselves known and felt and seen, she told Billboard. And of course, Black Lives Matter. Do we think our little white asses are the only ones that matter? No. Her comments came during nationwide protests following the police killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Parton had already confronted another racial issue within her business empire. In 2018, she removed Dixie from the name of her Civil War-themed dinner attraction. The production became Dolly Parton's Stampede. She later said she made the change after learning the word offended people. As soon as you realize that something is a problem, you should fix it, Parton said. Parton wrote and recorded I Will Always Love You in 1973. Nearly 2 decades later, Whitney Houston transformed the song into a global phenomenon for the 1992 film The Bodyguard. Houston's recording became one of the best-selling singles of all time. Parton repeatedly expressed admiration for Houston's performance and gratitude for what the recording did for her song. That connection took on new meaning after Houston's death in 2012. Parton said hearing the recording could still affect her deeply because she associated it with Houston. More than 3 decades later, Beyonce reworked Jolene for her 2024 album Cowboy Carter. The project placed a Black woman at the center of a genre shaped in part by African-American musical traditions, including the blues, banjo music, and Black string bands. Parton publicly celebrated Beyonce's interpretation, saying she felt honored that the singer had recorded the song. Parton also donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in 2020. The money supported coronavirus research connected to the development of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. The contribution was not presented as racial justice philanthropy. Still, the research carried particular importance for Black communities, which experienced disproportionate COVID-19 hospitalization and death during the pandemic. Parton joked that she had received a dose of her own medicine when she was vaccinated with the Moderna shot in 2021. Then there's the Imagination Library she founded in 1995 to provide free books to young children in her home county of East Tennessee. She said her father's inability to read inspired the program. It later expanded throughout the United States and into several other countries. The program now sends more than 3 million books each month to participating children from birth to age 5, regardless of family income. She never claimed to be a civil rights activist, but her choices and public efforts revealed something more specific. A white Southern woman from poverty who repeatedly showed a willingness to listen, reconsider, and widen the circle around her. Very well said. That from Nehemiah Frank of the Black Wall Street Times. There's one more little piece from the Whitney Houston section. Thanks to Houston's rendition of I Will Always Love You, Parton received nearly $10 million in royalties. In an interview with Andy Cohen in 2021, she revealed that she used some of the money to invest in a black neighborhood in Nashville. She purchased a commercial complex in Sevier Park as a way to honor Houston and dubbed it the house Whitney built. And even though there's just so much that was just dropped there, I was reminded when they talked about her support of Beyonce's cover of Jolene, how that was received by the country music world. I don't believe she even got a nomination for the Country Music Awards. You have to check that. I don't believe she got a nomination for the Country Music Awards, but she won the Grammy for Best Country Album. Right? We're talking about the world in which she's coming from in endorsing and throwing her arm around Beyonce. Right? Shout out to Dolly Parton, really. Shout out to Dolly Parton. She certainly was a real one. And beyond just sheerly beyond just the things that she said, right, and the things that she did specifically with regards to Black people, you have a huge legacy of philanthropy that will live on. This is pretty wild. If you can have a timeline of Dolly Parton's good deeds, that's wild. That is what that's goals right there. That's goals right there. I think if they had a timeline of Reese Waters' good deeds, I think it'd be a tweet. I'm trying to work on that. You know, I'm trying to work on that. I think it would be a tweet right now. But you got a whole article of her good deeds. In 1988, she launched the Dollywood Foundation in her home county of Sevier County, Tennessee, with the goal of decreasing high school dropout rates. She then started the Buddy program, in which she gave $500 to every 7th and 8th grader who finished high school. According to the organization, the initiative was successful and the dropout rate declined from 35% to just 6%. In 1989, she offered a $500 scholarship to every student in Sevier County who wished to attend Hiawassee College. In 1991, the Eagle Mountain Sanctuary at Dollywood, a 30,000 square foot aviary managed by the American Eagle Foundation, shelters the largest collection of non-resealable bald eagles. Her efforts to preserve the bald eagle earned her the Partnership Award from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in 2003. You have the Imagination Library, which I've mentioned already. In 2000, the Dolly Parton Scholarship. Every year, the $15,000 college scholarship is offered to 5 high school seniors in Sevier County, Tennessee. 2007, benefit concert for New Sevier County Hospital. The concert raised $500,000, and both Dollywood and Parton's Dixie Stampede Dinner Theater pledged $250,000 each to the project for a total of $1 million. And by the way, no more Dixie Stampede, by the way. Y'all know that. In 2016, a telethon after devastating East Tennessee wildfires, the Smoky Mountains Rise, a benefit for My People Fund, which aimed to help residents hit hardest in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, raised more than $13 million. 2016, to continue her wildlife relief efforts, Parton launched the My People's Fund, which provided $1,000 a month for 6 months to families whose homes were completely destroyed amid the national disaster. The fund also donated around $8.9 million to those in need. Also in 2016, that was a busy year, she awarded a $30,000 scholarship to 2-year-old Evie Johns in celebration of Imagination Library's accomplishment of shipping out 1 million books per month. In 2017, following the release of her I Believe in You children's album, Parton donated $1 million to the Monroe Correll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt University Medical Center in honor of her niece, who was treated for leukemia at that hospital. In 2020, she donated $1 million to coronavirus research at Vanderbilt University, which helped fund Moderna's COVID vaccine. In 2021, Parton and her Smoky Mountain businesses raised $700,000 to help residents impacted by catastrophic flooding in Middle Tennessee in October 2021. In 2022, the Dollywood company announced in February that it will cover 100% of tuition fees and books for any employee who's furthering their education. In 2022, she made another $1 million donation to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, this time aimed at helping pediatric infectious disease research, which, by the way, I happened to see a couple of posts juxtaposing her with Trump, because apparently Trump is calling for all flags to be at half-staff in honor of Dolly Parton's passing, specifically her donations to help fund research for childhood infectious diseases, juxtaposed with Trump cutting that exact funding. There you go. There you go. In 2022, Parton received the Carnegie Medal of Philanthropy, the award presented by the International Family of Carnegie Institutions to honor innovative philanthropists, debuted in 2001 and is normally awarded every 2 years. It was not issued in 2021 due to the pandemic. 2023, she donated $1 million to the Salvation Army, with the money allocated to food and grocery programs across the U.S. 2024, following Hurricane Helene's devastation in the Southeast, she provided $1 million from her personal funds for the Mountain Ways Foundation, which provides assistance to flood victims. This should keep going. 2025, her Imagination Library gifted more than 40.3 million books to children, marking a 9.9% increase from the previous year and bringing the program's total books gifted since its 1995 launch to more than 304 million. The program, which provides free books to children from birth to age 5, also celebrated its 30th anniversary in 2025. In July 2026, Parton thanked Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce for their $2 million donation to the Imagination Library, saying she was blown away and overjoyed by the gift. Wow. Dolly Parton gave so much, I got tired of reading. I was like, Dolly, come on. No. Dolly, come on. Again in 2016? Dog. 2023 was a wild year, wasn't it? It sure enough was. That was a whole lot. And one of the things I saw in my research for this particular live was them saying that Dolly Parton keeps giving away the money that would have made her a billionaire. Right? What would that be worth at this particular point in time? But the fact that she gave it away is worth this kind of legacy. Right? To that end, since I did say that the list of my good deeds would be a tweet, I did want to mention that one of our researchers, and shout out to the research squad too. Shout out to all the people in the research squad who've been working really hard and helping get all of the content that is integral to all of the videos that we're making and serving up every single day. One of the members of our research team, Jay, sent me a message that the only emergency shelter in his entire county is shutting down as of September 1st because of a lack of funding. Said this would be devastating for the homeless in his community. The shelter needing help is the Twin City Pads of Sterling/Rock Falls. They've done some wonderful work caring for the homeless population, and they don't turn away anyone needing help regardless of the situation. The people running the place are fantastic. Helping those less fortunate is what my mama and grandmother always taught me. You help out your fellow man whenever possible. No ifs, ands, or buts. He also sent me this particular link. I don't know. I don't condone this Hello Bello. I don't know nothing about Hello Bello. Apparently they got. Oh, there we go.
Tonight, the Twin Cities Pads homeless shelter says it will temporarily close from a lack of funding and staffing issues. This is Whiteside County's only dedicated emergency shelter for people experiencing homelessness. Officials say the 30 people who currently depend on the shelter for meals and also housing will be directly affected. The closure is effective September 1st.
All right, I'm going to drop the link that he gave me. He said the closing is actually supposed to be happening on Sunday, but the way to donate is via their website. So I'm going to put this link right here. This is for the Twin City. This is for the Twin City Pads of Sterling/Rock Falls. So there's the link right there. I'll also drop that on the community tab as well. So if you have an opportunity to help out those in Jay's community, please do. And shout out to Jay for letting me know and for all his hard work. See what you guys are talking about. Just sending love. Zephyrs. Thank you. Thank you, Zephyrs. Very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. I'm a female who rides a bike, and Pinky was shit. Sorry, not a joke. Oh, Indoor. I'm sorry. I thought you just been holding the flame for Pinky for that long. I apologize. I apologize. You're a female who rides a bike and you love Pinky. All right. Thank you, Indoor. I appreciate you being a good sport about the Pinky Tusker. You know, that was the most fun element of the live for a great number of people. So thank you for that. Dolly's sister Stella is also a big ally. Okay. Stella Parton? Okay. Let me look that up. Stella Parton. Is that? Okay, wait. When I look up Stella Parton, there's a woman who looks very young. Stella Marie. Okay. No, okay. Hey, shout out to Stella. Stella! Shout out to Stella. Thank you. Thank you, Regina. Excellent work. I appreciate your background photograph. You caught it? You caught it? I assume. Oh wait, are you talking about this background photograph? You talking about this background photograph, or you talking about the thumbnail? I don't know. Well, this background photograph is a Basquiat print, but the background photograph of the thumbnail is Dollywood. Maybe that's what you call it. Bobby and Whitney. Is there just a little something for Bobby and Whitney? Just a little something for Bobby and Whitney. Totally random, but I don't know why I went down this rabbit hole of the Bobby Whitney reality show. I knew I had watched it. I knew I had watched it at the time, and I knew it was out of pocket at the time. I remembered that it was out of pocket. But when I went back and saw some clips of the Bobby Whitney, I was like, they put that on TV? The Bobby Whitney reality show that's a story for another lie, but that was out of pocket. That was out of pocket. I can't believe they put that on TV. That's a story for another. That's a whole live. That's a whole live. I thought I missed you completely. I was in my Italian class trying to teach this old dog some new tricks. If you know, you know, you know. Thanks. Thank you, Michelle. That's awesome. Buongiorno. Well, ciao. Ciao. Jacqueline Smith. It might have been. It might have been. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. Talking. This ain't the Charlie's Angels live. We're gonna do that later. Huge LGBTQ icon and ally too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Reese, love that you're celebrating Dolly's life. Of course, Mary. Mary, she deserves it. I appreciate that. Got a spider. Yeah. It would have been short-lived if the spider would have stuck around. Erica Smith. Erica Smith. I love that. Erica Smith, thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Discuss her Wooden Vault release. Dollywood was instructed to release her last track called My Place in History after her death. I don't know anything about that. Hold up. Dolly Parton. Let's see. Dolly Parton recorded a song. Dolly Parton recorded a secret song to be released after her death. She previously revealed she had pre-recorded a song to be available for release, tucked into a wooden vault. Tucked into a wooden vault at Dollywood's Dreammore Resort is an unreleased Dolly Parton song called My Place in History, written to be her last. The country legend says she placed the song in a box along with a CD player and a cassette player, but the box won't be opened until 2045 when the resort celebrates its 30th anniversary. Wow. Indoor, shout out to you. You the real MVP of this live. I appreciate you for that. Reese is in the building. Zach, you know we make it do what it do. Dolly Parton's most likely the most woke country star ever. I can't think of anybody else. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else. Who made the album with Nelly? No, because Nelly is MAGA, so no, that don't qualify. We're not claiming Jelly Roll no more. Yeah, I guess so. I can't even think of who would even be in competition for that. Esteban, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. T Honey, thank you very much for your gift. If you received T Honey's gift, show some love in the chat, won't you please? Where you been? The Bull, where you been? All right. Charlie Pride. He black. Willie. Yeah. Willie. Johnny Cash was like that too. Johnny Cash was like that too. So Woody Guthrie, I don't know anything about Woody Guthrie. But yeah, it gotta be it's her and Willie. It's her and Willie. And maybe Johnny Cash if you consider Johnny Cash. All right. Now we got Casey Musgraves is cool. Neil Young has some country albums. Okay. By the way, I rock with Johnny Cash heavy. I like Johnny Cash a lot. Story for another time. I used to fake like Kenny Rogers when I was a kid because there was a burger joint named Kenny Rogers. There was a burger joint named Kenny Rogers. Dolly Parton's sister uncorked tirade at Pimple Trump in the days before the star's death. Now, this is a new one. Dolly Parton's sister unleashed a blistering stream of attacks against Donald Trump in the days leading up to the country music legend's death, including a now deleted attack shortly before the news broke. Quote, as a natural born citizen of the United States of America, I do not support nor do I agree with Trump or his deranged, ugly, nasty behavior. Stella Parton wrote in a post on Tuesday, according to a screenshot obtained before it disappeared. Many of us are disgusted and feel threatened with his actions and his cabinet, Republican sycophants, and the majority of the SCOTUS. Days earlier, Stella, a singer, songwriter, and actress, described Trump as a pimple and Congress as pus. We have a pimple in the White House, and the pus in Congress do nothing beneficial for the citizens of this country, she wrote on August 20th, strutting around with his female assistant carrying his diaper bag and soothing his every desire is gross and pathetic. He's an illegitimate president, she added. Stella! All right. Stella! I can do that. All right, Stella. All right, Stella. On Sunday, she lobbed yet another jab at Trump and also lashed out at J.D. Vance. Quote, Trump is not sundowning in the middle of the night. If so, what do we do about the liars enabling him like J.D. Vance? The sister of the 80-year-old music icon who passed Tuesday also responded evil underneath a photograph of Trump and compared him to being as bad as Netanyahu and Adolf if he isn't stopped. Get out and vote, people, she added in a August 22nd reply post. Wow. Wow. We have a pimple in the White House and the pus in Congress do nothing beneficial for the citizens of this country. Y'all think Stella deserves induction? Y'all want to y'all want to bring I think at least in the unsung wing. I think Stella's at least in the unsung wing. I think somebody got to bring Dolly's things into the Betty White Memorial Ally Hall of Fame. And I think Stella, has earned that. Stella! I'm with it. All right. We gotta end this. So let me think. I need somebody to write this down. I need somebody to write this down. Who did we put? So wait a minute. So the Lena Horne Hall of Fame is Lena, Dorothy Dandridge, Sophia Loren, Diane Carroll. Anybody else in there? That's all we got in the Lena Horne. Until the 70s times in. And we're going, in 4 years, y'all remind me. And then the 70s times in. Then we can discuss all the 70s. Okay. The Betty White Memorial is Betty, Miss Rachel, Mr. Rogers, John Brown. Who else we put in the Betty White? Harry Belafonte. Who else? Dolly, obviously Dolly. Who else in there? We got Mr. Rogers. Was Elizabeth Taylor like that? Was Della Reese? Y'all just naming people now. Nipsey Russell. Y'all just naming people. This for allies. Flip Wilson. Jane Fonda should be in there. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Hey, JFK. Oh, JFK's in there for sure. JFK's in there for sure. And you know what? Nobody mentioned Princess, or at least I didn't see anybody mention Princess Di. Princess Di and JFK for sure. For sure. White people that black people do not play about. Bill Nye and Tom Hanks are in the unsung wing. They are in the Albert Einstein Memorial unsung wing. Frank Sinatra is definitely in there for sure. We got De Niro is in the unsung wing. Burt Reynolds. Marilyn Monroe, was she like that? I did see that Marilyn Monroe was like that, but I don't know that she would qualify as black people don't play about her though. You know? Oh, yeah. Black people do not play about Meryl Streep. They do not play about Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is in there. Meryl Streep is in there for sure. All right, we got to keep this party going. We got to keep this party going. Rob Reiner. So now I'm realizing we like discussing multiple different things because it's allies and it's people that black people don't play about, right? You got somebody like Rob Reiner who's an ally, but I don't think black people really have a relationship with Rob Reiner. And then you have people like Princess Di, who black people don't play about, but I don't know that she really. I just whatever. We'll circle back around. We'll circle back around to this conversation. We'll have to sort everything out. We have to sort everybody into their respective wings because you got your ally wing and you got your don't play about wing, and then you got your unsung wing. You know what I mean? And it's we need to. It needs some organization. You know what happened is the museum is underfunded right now. The Betty White Memorial Museum is underfunded right now because we were hoping that Dolly was going. You know, I put in because I see all the funds that she had given. I had put in for Dolly to help fund the museum, but unfortunately, she passed. So I'm hoping that if Stella can get in touch, then we can get the funding that we need to be able to organize the museum properly. That's what we need. That's what we need. So I know you do. She said, I love him. I know. I know that. Y'all be ready to fight over. It ain't even English. You know what I mean? Sitting right in Mississippi, ready to fight over Princess Di. I know exactly how y'all be. Stella said once I can say what Dolly can't. Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's right. So we gonna give Dolly a cosign for Stella's tweets. We're gonna give Dollar a cosign for Stella's tweets. Just put the Stella tweets up and then just put and Dolly by it. Marilyn Monroe is an ally. She actively used her celebrity status and influence to break racial barriers for Black performers, especially Ella Fitzgerald. I had seen something like that. Bonita, thank you for that. I had seen something like that. But see, that's where the unsung wing comes in, because I don't know that people are aware of that. See, this is why I had that idea to do that series of videos about this. Because it shouldn't just be about going and canceling people. You know what I mean? She should get flowers. She should get her flowers for that. You know what I mean? Right now, people be like an ally. Right now, people be an ally because they put a black box on Instagram in 2020. Oh, yeah, no, she with us because she put a black box on Instagram. You know what I mean? But then Marilyn Monroe gets no flowers for moving like she was moving in the 50s. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's foul. That is all the way foul. All right. On that note, we ain't get to the Spiderman. We ain't get to the Tatum. We ain't get to none of that. However, I do intend to do a members live between now and Monday. So we have an opportunity to do that then. And also, as a reminder, next week's live will probably be on Monday. It will probably be on Monday. So that is a reminder about that. Once again, here is the link to the Twin City Pads. I'm going to put this on the community tab as well. This is the shelter in Sterling Rock Falls that is in danger of shutting down. And it is the only shelter for the unhoused in that community. So if you have the opportunity to give, please do. And once again, the code over at thepeoplesgetup.com is Spidey825. Although had I thought of the code after the fact, it would have been Stella. It should have been Stella. It should have been Stella, but I didn't realize how long we was going to go. I didn't realize we was going to have so much conversation about who deserves to get into Betty White. And then we had that whole, then we started the Lena Horne Museum over by it. It was a lot. It was a lot. A lot was happening today. So I didn't get a chance to really get to Spidey, but don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. Shout out to at the buzzer, not that Darwin. Thank you very much for joining. We're very happy that you're here. What you talking about, Willis? Jamie Lee Curtis and absolutely Rob Reiner. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And shout out to Regina, hit me at the buzzer too with that Stella article. That was dope. I need me some more Reese stand up. It's gonna be a minute. T honey, it's gonna be a minute. You know, I like to maybe do like a live podcast or something like that. When people say, you know, you should do stand up. Well, you know, I've been thinking I might take my podcast on the road. What that means is they don't got to prepare it now. If you do stand up, that takes writing. You have to go to clubs. You have to work it out. That's work and work and work and work. You want to do a live podcast? Live podcast? Hey, thank y'all for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, you ain't got to do nothing for the live podcast. So just know, as somebody that does content on social media, who used to be a comedian, stand up is a whole other thing. You don't respect stand-ups nearly enough. That's a conversation for another time. But I will just tell you, y'all don't respect stand-ups nearly enough. All right. Da, 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 da. Barbara Walters was definitely. Was she? Okay. You know, we gonna have to organize it. We got to get a committee. We got to get a committee together because, you know, Night Watchman, I think you sound like people give me some good suggestions. Bonita, I like your suggestion right there. Now we got to get it. We got to get a crew together. I think Indoor has to be a part of it just because of the Pinky Tuscadero thing. I owe Indoor, so Indoor will be a part of it. We got to get a community. We got to get a group to get Jessica be a part of it. We got to get a group. We got to get a group together, and we gonna organize it. And then Michelle be in charge of international outreach because she speaks multiple languages. We got to figure it out. We gonna work it out. We gonna work it out. If you haven't got a chance to check out the video I posted earlier, please do. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have a premiere for a video that I'm very excited. You're going to enjoy this one. I can tell you that. And be sure to give us a like on the way out. And if you see anybody talking trash about me, make sure they know that I have daughters and soak your feet.